Hello everyone, happy Boxing Day, which will be in about 3 days. Don't know what day it is today. I hope you're well. I hope you had a lovely Christmas Day and Boxing Day if you're listening to this after that, 2020 if you're listening to this in the future. So today's episode on gratitude, I'm just the introduction to it I'm recording months after I actually recorded this 3 to 4 minute roughly portion on gratitude. It was an afterthought to the fact that I just recorded the episode on happiness and was like, oh my goodness, as if I didn't discuss one of the main things that can help with happiness, gratitude. So it was short. It was before I did podcasts. I may do one in the future, a whole episode on gratitude, and give it more pondering and more thought and more helpful, practical information on it. There is another one that I'm releasing in January sometime, which will be, again, have some stuff around gratitude. And so just to introduce this, I just want to say very often, if you are looking at me from the point of view, he's lucky, you can tell yourself a story about me, which isn't necessarily true. And I see people do this because I'm in a position where I mentor hundreds of individuals. I see this going on. A bit like I imagine a headmaster does at a school, or a teacher even to some extent. I say teacher because I don't know how much headmasters are involved with students anymore, but anyone who's kind of leading, part of pastoral, just a leader, right? When you talk to people and you connect with people and you hear the stories of people and you walk a journey with people, that has been my life for the last 4 to 5 years. I interact with people online, and it's not even students or young people, it's adults that I am supporting and walking journeys with and hearing the troubles of and the fears of. And it's kind of funny, right? Like, even saying that out loud, I'm like, geez, who am I? I'm young. I'm naive. I'm imperfect. But as per the episode that I will be releasing and talking about, I think it was Seneca, and essentially saying, stop relying on the wisdom of others. Like, what do you think about things? Your life experiences have worth. And I am in a unique position. Of course I'm in a unique position because I am me, but I'm also in a relatively unique position in the level of involvement I have in people's careers and lives and well-being and health and happiness, etc. Just in the way that I conduct myself, interacting and trying to help people on social media in a very personal way rather than just putting out content in a very aloof or disconnected way. And then again with my mentees, over 1,000 fitness professionals in a group. And then hundreds and hundreds, if not perhaps thousands of people who have done MNU now. A couple of thousand or more. Anyway, I'm in a unique position. I hear lots of stuff about people. And, from people, but from people about people. So this comes from me hearing one person I'm mentoring talking about another person I'm mentoring. And the person they're talking about also talking to me about their own feelings. Now, person A is struggling with life, struggling with business, struggling to know their direction. Person B is in a very, very similar situation. However, person B, their situation is changing. Some of it is change that they want. Some of it is change that they feel they have to do because of their situation. Now, person A perceives person B to be moving. to be moving and excited and successful and doing things. Person B feels lost and scared and insecure. Person A is feeling jealous of person B. And I'm in the middle going to person A. It's social media. It's life. When I talk about you guys or people listening to this who might be going, Martin is lucky, there is a possibility I don't think that. There's a possibility I'm struggling, that I'm hating life, I'm whatever. And this is one of the things about viewing things on social media. You think something, you make up stories in your mind. Hold on a sec. I had a nightmare, recording the last intro for the happiness one, and it cut out halfway through, so I'm just a bit panicked. You make up stuff in your mind through social media. Social media is a highlight reel. I do my absolute best to be transparent and honest about my own struggles, the difficulties of being a parent, the difficulties of overworking, the impacts that has on my relationships and friendships, the fact that I'm imperfect, the fact that I have a bad temper or had a bad temper and still have a tendency that way, that I'm emotionally unavailable, that I occasionally get imposter syndrome, that sometimes I feel lonely, that I've really, really struggled with my mental health in the past. And you know what? That is one of the things I'm going to tell you now. This year, 2020, has been horrific for me. I did a post about it. The first lockdown, I was doing well. I thought, wow, this is great. It's new. I was excited by it. I hit the ground running. And then I just really started to struggle. Everything about it, I really, really struggled. And I got to a really, really low point. And I talked about that. And every day since then has been up, up, up. But honestly, my life between the beginning of November and December, I honestly feel like the amount I'm dealing with is more than maybe some people have to deal with in their life. That may be a ridiculously grand statement. But I guarantee you that 99% of you listening to this will not have dealt with what I've been dealing with the last 2 months. That sounds a bit cryptic, and I do try to be transparent. And in the future, some of this stuff might come out. But I have used the stuff I talk about in the happiness and gratitude stuff to be who you perceive me on social media. People perceive me. You're happy. You're successful. You're outgoing. You love life. You turn up daily. And I have tried to do that. But you might perceive that because you're lucky. You have a successful career. My career is extremely stressful. It's actually, and here's some more massive transparency for you on Boxing Day 2020. 2 or 3 times between November and December, I have honestly asked myself if it would just be easier to not be here anymore. And in the past, when I've had counselling, it was actually asked, there's 2 different ways of looking at that. Difficult question. And is it that you think it would be easier not to be here, or that you actually want to end it? You can ponder those 2 different questions. They mean potentially 2 different things. They come from 2 different places. And I'm sorry that is cryptic, and I can't necessarily tell you why. But it's related to my job and who I am, and the jealousy of others, the hate of others. And it's really caught me by surprise. Like the veracity. Alexa, what does veracity mean?
Veracity is usually defined as habitual observance of truth in speech or statement.
No.
Truthfulness. For more,
I basically mean the ferociousness of it. Anyway, this is you guys DM me about, I was shouting this frugal. I was shouting frugal at you in that other episode. All right, I know. I couldn't think of it. Veracity, I swear that was a different meaning. Anyway, let me know if you think of the word I'm thinking of, beginning with V, obviously. Don't give me other words, completely different words. I'm thinking of something specific, or I just don't know the meaning of veracity. Anyway, where was I? It's been horrific, right? Really frigging horrific. If you ever meet me in person, I'll tell you why. But without telling you the whole story, I just think things can be misconstrued. Without being able to show you hard evidence, I think things can be misconstrued. It's knocked me because I've seen how fickle people are. How much I give back and how little I receive, for instance. How much I would do for others and how little they appreciate it. But some of the stuff I tell you about happiness is expecting less of others, expecting the worst, expecting life to be bad and anything else that's better is worth it. Having your own mission and purpose and not needing the praise of others, continue on your mission, on your purpose, doing the right thing. So my point being, you can look at me and go, you're lucky. Well, of course you're happy. Just as person A and B. Person A, well, they're lucky, they're doing this, that, and the other. Person B, your happiness, and you can. This is why I talk about Stoicism, and this episode I'm releasing in January. I'll talk a lot more about Stoicism. And the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. Viktor Frankl, the last of man's fortunes or something, I can't remember the word, luxuries, is his ability to choose how he feels about any given set of circumstances. And this thing about gratitude, starting at the bottom, seeing the best in something. Viktor Frankl, one of the only books I've ever read more than about 5 pages of, pretty much ever. And this is literally within the last few weeks. I just had it there, I couldn't sleep. And it's such a little book, it's so short. I thought, I'll just read the preface. That's all I ever really do, read a page or two of something. I've got the Daily Stoic book. I've read 2 pages of that until 2 days ago I read the 3rd page, which is when I did that podcast on Stoicism. But Viktor Frankl, he is a psychologist, survived the Holocaust. He was in concentration camps, and he talks about loads of these different things. And it's called Man's Search for Meaning. So if you want to go read it, it's the only book I can ever recommend. Again, it's only based on a few pages of it. But I have an understanding of what's in the book. I've read so many of his quotes. I know it's amazing, and some of you might do it, might benefit from it. And again, he explains certain things, like how you can be grateful. You are grateful if you are given time in a concentration camp, the few minutes, to de-lice yourself. You are grateful. You are grateful for that. You are in a concentration camp. Your life may end at any moment. You are starved, you're malnourished, you're being abused. But you're grateful. So, you are the master of how you view your own situation. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't feel your own feelings. But honestly, practicing gratitude. I think I say it in this video. I don't have a gratitude journal. I don't have a habit of waking up. Occasionally I've tried this. Who is it? I think he's called like one of the founding fathers of America or something. One of those people who was on the ships or whatever. Nelson? Or I can't remember. But what good shall I do? What good shall I do this day? He literally every single day woke up and he had this timetable. What good shall I do this day? I've tried to do that a few times. It's quite cool. It's nice. You just start thinking of others instead of your own bad situation. What can I do? I've got purpose, right? Who am I going to smile at? Who am I going to do a random act of kindness? Versus wake up and do a gratitude journal. Some people do it on their stories. I've never got into that. But these things are evidence-based. They're therapy-based processes. Evidence-based therapy processes, sorry. So anyway, it's a short, my intro now is longer than the actual content. But I hope you'll listen to it. I hope you'll let it wash over you, speak to you. And hopefully at this time that's difficult for many, lots of people not having the Christmas that they wish they could, maybe it's a great time to refocus on gratitude. You know what? I'm going to set a challenge. If you want, go on your story and write 2 to 5 things you are grateful for and tag me. Because do you know what? I will be grateful for that. That will make me happy, seeing loads of you doing this. And maybe we can start a little bit of a ripple effect of people being able to just view some gratitude in spite of the current situation we're all in, and in spite of what terrible things you might be going through. Anyway, hope you enjoy the next 3 minutes. I've said that before. I had to lower the tone. Come on. Love you all lots. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm going to be releasing another one on the Sunday after this. It literally might even be Friday, Saturday. It literally might even be tomorrow. There might be another one released on the 27th. I think it's nutrition based though, so I can stop pretending to be wise. Cool. Until next time, everyone, much love. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I spoke for 26 minutes. It'll probably be shorter once you see it because I'll get someone to edit out all the silly bits. But I didn't discuss gratitude. What was I thinking? Shows you how unplanned it was. I just went and put up my story about that I just recorded the video on happiness and I didn't talk about gratitude. Gratitude is such a huge part of happiness. I think it's different from any of the other things I spoke about. It interlinks with much of it. The acceptance side of things, the acceptance side of the fact that bad things happen, but still being grateful, still living with an attitude of gratitude for all the things that you do have, for all the things that have gone right. You know, I see so many people who are more well-read than me on gratitude, that put more content out than me on gratitude, that have clearly given it a lot more time and thought and put out good content on it and speak about it. It's not something that I exercise massively. In terms of a conscious decision, I do not have a gratitude journal like some people do. I do not have a great habit of waking up every day and thinking about what I'm grateful for. But actually, I have an inherent level of gratitude. Alexa, volume 2. I think I should have said 3. Wow, that's quiet. Alexa, volume 3. That's a bit odd. I've talked about it before. As a teenager, as an under 10 years old kid, I had an attitude of gratitude. I remember I would walk places and I'd be like, I'm so thankful that life has given me confidence, that life gave me a good smile, because I was always complimented on my smile as a kid. I'm so grateful that I'm good at sport. I remember thinking all these things and thinking, I love my life. I'm so thankful for those things, and I need to pass that on. And actually, the world tarnished me a bit, and I feel like maybe in the last few years I'm getting back to the person that I was meant to be and I was back then as a kid, as I became more downtrodden and those kind of things, and didn't live with an attitude of gratitude and became negative about the life. But I was the popular kid who would talk to the unpopular kid. I didn't judge someone because they weren't the coolest, because they weren't good at sport, they weren't in the football team, those kind of things. I had the confidence to talk to them despite the jeering that you would get from popular kids, your friends. Oh, why are you talking to them? Anyway, that's a bit of a big up me, look how great I am. That's not how I mean it. I just mean gratitude. It's massive. If you've got it inherently, thank your lucky stars. If you don't, practice it. Make it a habit. Do one of these gratitude journals. I have talked about gratitude before, and people say I have nothing to be thankful for. And as much as I could go, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry you feel that way, because people's mental health can make them feel that way. I do tend to say to them, then you need to lower your standards. It may feel that way. It may feel like life is absolutely not worth living. I considered not saying that because it's such a deep statement, but it can feel like that at times. I felt like that at times. And if you're hearing this and you're feeling like that, please know that it will get better. But you can be thankful. You can be thankful. There is something you can be thankful for. Look wider than yourself. Look wider than your friendship group. Look wider than your family. Look around the world. There are things to be grateful for in your life. I hope it helps you. I hope this helps someone. I'm really enjoying recording these slightly more long-form videos that will also go into audio format and will be available on, I imagine, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all of that jazz. And I hope they help to make the world a better place. My definition of success. Much love.